from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I'm here to do another process video for you. This week I was inspired by a few things. Mostly it is by the Paige Evans Fancy Free collection by Pink Paisley, but I also pulled a few other things. So the red tissue paper there, that Project Life card that unfortunately won't make it on the page, some thread, and also the pattern paper. So I originally was thinking like maybe a grab 5 like Inky Quill does, but instead what I decided is I'm really inspired by these 4 pieces from the Fancy Free collection. And I kind of knew that I wanted to layer them just on top of each other to make this neat little cluster of beautifulness. And I had already framed my photo. It is of Christmas Eve of last year. It's our family photo, and the frame says "We Are Family." So that had already been framed. I was getting ready to do a whole different layout with it, and then I kind of noticed that the colors in just within those 3 things and the acetate that says "Family" kind of lent itself to a Christmas layout. So that's where it all began, and I was definitely inspired by that, and then the rest of my layout just kind of took off. So this is quite a fast layout. It didn't take me that long because I'm using that piece of pink fresh studio paper that is so beautiful, and it kind of lends itself to not needing a whole lot of extra embellishment, which I love and appreciate. My only thing I was having a problem with there is that there is a lot of white space on the side, so you'll see how I kind of come up with my solution on how to do that. But first, what I'm going to do is go ahead and use some of that red tissue paper. It's very bright and definitely Christmas red, but I got it when we were opening gifts last year, and I kind of just kept a few bits of it to put in my December daily. And I thought because there's already a bit of red kind of floating around within that piece of the main background paper, that I should try to incorporate a little bit of it onto my main photo cluster as well. So that's where the tissue paper is coming from and why I'm wanting to use it. And now I'm just going to try to think of exactly where I should place it, if I'm going to use the A side or the B side, and I'm just kind of making my final decision here. I had a hard time trying to really think about it, and I'm going to go off camera for a minute to kind of make my final decision. And when I come back, you're going to see how that turned out. So you see my fingers tapping there. I'm really trying to figure out exactly how I want to do this because I'm not liking the way it's looking right at the moment. So I'm going to try and layer it up again, thinking that, redoing it's going to help. And then you see, this is what I do. I flipped it. I tried to use the yellow. It's not working. So I put the piece of green down there. And then I think, okay, I'm going to stop for a second and I'm going to work on the side. So this is how I'm working on the fact that there's so much white space up at the corner. I'm going to do a triple border, and I love that. I love the way it looks. And then to solve my issue with my photo cluster, what I ended up doing is that original piece of pattern paper, I just took it away. And I used the little bit of the teal that I had, and I like that a lot better. It's mostly red with a little bit of teal, which is more Christmassy anyways. And as this is kind of a non-traditional Christmas layout to begin with, I thought that it was a nice kind of tying in with the Christmas season and feel to it. So of course now I'm working on my title, and I know I'm wanting it to say "Good Tidings of Comfort and Joy." I'm kind of making all of my layouts this year for 2015 Christmas layouts. They're all kind of titles from Christmas songs, and I just think it's kind of fun, and I'm just doing a play off of that. So I have these little tiny alphas, and they're tile alphas, and I love them. I believe they're from Cosmo Cricket. And as you can see, what I ended up doing is I did my journaling up at the top. I used a teal to spell good, and then I used "of comfort and joy" in that red tile letters, and then of course the word tidings is in the silver. And then the kind of final steps here is I have these three little pieces of florals that I fussy cut from the collection of 30 papers I'm using, and my goal is to use them up by the end of July. And I've had other videos about that if you want to look back into that. And so I found that they kind of lent themselves to a bit of a Christmassy feel, so I pulled them out and tucked them underneath my photo, as well as the awesome green thread that has gold interlaced in it. And I just tucked them all under there to kind of just add a little bit more texture and dimension to it. And I really love the way it turns out. And then I decided that gotta have a bit of something round somewhere. So I originally was thinking I would do a bunch in different places, but in the end there's only going to be one. And I'm going to use some red thread as well to kind of help tie that in. So you'll see me do that. And lastly, the last thing you're going to see there is that I added that little tab that says I believe. And I like that. It adds just a little tiny bit up there to help tie everything in, but not too much. You also saw that I did some stitching around the border as well. I like that. It's just a little bit, again, of that little added hint of texture there without it being too much. And I was able to fluff up the white piece of pattern paper again for more texture because of that. So I really love it. I got a lot of neat little things used up, which is the point of this series for me. So I was really pleased with the way it turned out. But I was having an issue with my final embellishments, so I went off camera, and now you're just going to see the close-ups of my layout. So I hope you've enjoyed this short, sweet layout, and I will be back with some more fun things in July with you. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Hello.